Time for another scientific literacy lesson. This time we're going to look at some of the coolest sound effects in all of science fiction. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi films and television, and I like to think of myself on being on both sides of the aisle. I love both Star Wars and Star Trek. When it comes to the futuristic sci-fi genre, one of the great attractions is the spacecraft and the battle set in space. This makes for some of the most memorable scenes and features of all of sci-fi. Scenes like the opening of Star Wars, the X-Wing and TIE Fighter battle scenes, Starfleet taking on the Borg in Star Trek, the Enterprise going to warp, and one of my personal favorites, whatever the heck a seismic charge is. As much as I love the genre and adore these cinema and television masterpieces, it pains me to say it, but they all got it wrong. What do I mean by that? Well, take another look at these scenes and tell me, what do you hear? I hear a bunch of futuristic spaceship engine noises, blasters, torpedoes, and explosions, and that's impossible. When we're talking about the physical property of sound, what we're talking about is the propagation of a mechanical wave of displacement through a medium. A medium is just any substance, gas, liquid, or solid that a sound can be carried by. So we can't see a sound wave moving through air, but picture a stone dropping into a calm pool or lake. The energy of the stone transfers to the water molecules at the point it's dropped in, and then the energy moves through the water in every direction in the form of small waves. That's the mechanical wave or displacement. So when you speak or an engine roars or a blaster fires, the mechanical energy of that event transfers to the air molecules, which transfer to the next air molecules, and so on and so forth until it collides with your eardrum. From there, your ear is designed in a way to send the information from those vibrations to your brain, and your brain interprets that as noise. Okay, so let's take a look at space. There's not really a definite point or line where something's considered being in outer space rather than in our atmosphere, but it's safe to say for the most part, if something's more than 100 kilometers from sea level or further, it's considered in outer space. Many people mistakenly believe that outer space is a complete vacuum void of everything. In reality, there's quite a bit going on out there. For example, there's electromagnetic radiation, there's magnetic fields, neutrinos, cosmic rays, and as much as 1 atom of matter per cubic meter. So it's very low density, but there is stuff out there. So have you figured out yet why sci-fi's been getting it wrong all these years? Well, if there's only 1 atom per cubic meter of space, the chances that those atoms are going to collide and transfer that mechanical energy so that sound can propagate are next to nil. If atoms don't bump, sound doesn't travel, and sound absolutely requires a medium to be able to move. And in space, that medium is spread too thin. That's right, your whole life has been a lie. Warp engines and blasters make no sound in space. Or to be more accurate, no sound is propagated through the relative vacuum of space. If they'd gotten it right, these scenes would have looked a lot more like this. Not exactly as exciting as the original. But take heart, there's a few classic sci-fi selections that got it right. The 2001 Space Odyssey, for example, had several silent space scenes. A more recent example is Firefly. Joss Whedon of Avengers fame put together this space western series in 2002. During that show's run, for the most part, there are no sounds heard from any spacecraft or maneuvers in space. Way to go, Joss and crew, that's some quality sci-fi.